Well, hello and welcome to day 4 of our Finding Your Mojo in 2023 workshop. I am blown away by the response we've got from day 1, day two, and day 3. Your comments have inspired me, they have encouraged me. I am absolutely thrilled and delighted by what many of you are opening up your minds to doing and you're already receiving. I've got fantastic feedback and comments, and I'm really, really, really happy and delighted about that. So you're so welcome if you can come and join me live today. And if you can't and you're watching on the replay, which is what most people will do later on, just send me a little hashtag replay and I will know that you are coming in later and I will say hello to you. And as always, if you have any questions, hello there, delighted to see you. If you have any questions at all, just pop them into the comments and I will come back to you. And some of you are still waiting for your guided meditations because they are personalized, they're individual. I'm working my way through them. I'm thinking by this evening, everybody will have received theirs. So I'm excited about that. And already I sent one out this morning and I got the most amazing feedback back. So that's what I want. And if these help you in any way, and if they help you as much as they help me, well, then that's a really, really, really good start to your January. So you're coming in, let me know where you are and with the weather. What the weather's like where you are. I had a lovely message from Coal Island. I'd say Coal Island a few minutes ago to say that the sun is coming out. And I'm delighted to say the sun is coming out here as well, although it's still a little bit windy and it's definitely a little bit cooler. But I can live with that. So keep the questions coming, keep the encouragement coming, keep the love coming. And you know what? Hit that love heart button or hit the thumbs up button if you can, because when you do that, everybody gets notifications and more people will see the video and get reminders. A lovely love heart there. Thank you. So today is a fairly meaty topic because it is actually one that affects everybody. I don't think there's anybody in the world who doesn't suffer to some extent from the lies that we tell ourselves. And that's a fairly dramatic statement for me to make, the lies, because you don't tell lies. I can't tell a lie to save my life. Even when my kids were small and I would tell them a fib, they'd look at me and they'd say, right, mum. But we are living with these lies that we tell ourselves, and I'm going to delve into that now. Let me see who's here. Hi, Anne, great to be here today. Fantastic morning. Judy, your help and guidance. Can't wait to see you in Harvey's Point Bridge. Bridge was the one who sent me the lovely message. She said, I sent her a meditation. It's the abundance meditation that I do every single day, which I find incredibly powerful. And she said if anybody could see her, she was hoovering with energy and she felt amazing at the end of it. Well, when I'm out walking, I swear to God, I walk with a pep in my step. I walk like a rock star. And I listen to that meditation a couple of times. And here, when I do it in the morning after I have my breakfast, I usually go out to the fire terrace when you can't see me. And I will do exactly what you do, Breach. I'm doing the power moves and I'm fired up because it's set to music and it's really inspirational. And Margaret Connell is joining in from gorgeous sunny Tenerife. Everybody's so jealous, Margaret. I don't even have sunshine here. But and I loved that message that you sent me. Margaret said the first thing we should be grateful for every morning is that you're awake and you're alive. And isn't that true? So anyway, to get back to the self-limiting beliefs. Margaret and I went to boarding school together, and at Margaret, some of my self-limiting beliefs actually stem from those days, even though I loved school. But self-limiting beliefs are beliefs that you hold inherently. You're not consciously aware of them, but they're in your subconscious, and they're with you all the time. And oftentimes these beliefs could come from a throwaway sentence, throwaway comment that somebody made that you hold forever and ever. I can remember the last time that I spoke about this here in the group. I think it was in the challenge group. And one of the girls said that a teacher said to her, oh my God, I can't believe you're Margaret's sister. She is so clever. And this girl honestly thought that she was stupid. She works in accounts. She works in financials. She's not one bit stupid. But in her mind, this was her put down. You're not as clever as your sister. Another gorgeous girl said to me, I'll never forget this. This actually brought tears to my eyes. She said, there was a nun in school who said, good Lord, what happened to you? You used to be such a good looking child. This girl is gorgeous. I've seen her photograph. I've never met her. She's gorgeous. And she went through her life thinking that she was ugly. So it's these throwaway, and sometimes they're from well-meaning people in your life. I can remember once, and I'm so ashamed of this, our Richard came home with his school report. And I looked through it, and Richard had got an A in every single thing except maths. What did his mother, who loves him more than anybody in the world, say to him? I said, Richard, what happened to you in maths? Took the good out of everything. Everything. And I remember talking to my mum about it afterwards, and she was so upset and cross with me because once those words are said, you can't really take back the hurt, you can't take back the impact. But the good news is there are ways that you can get over them. But I think the first thing you should do is probably recognize what your self-limiting beliefs are. For me, I had two big ones. One did stem from school, Margaret. I thought I was useless at maths. And I don't remember the exact teacher or the minute this was said to me, but somebody must have said to me, you're not good at maths. And even to this day, for the most trivial maths, I will actually have a calculator or I'll use my phone. And now I'm getting lazy, so I won't even subtract or divide. But when I look back, I actually went to boarding school because I got a scholarship to go to boarding school because my law of attraction and my manifestation was working even as a 12-year-old. I wanted to go to boarding school. I'd read all of these Enid Blyton books and the twins at Mallory Towers. So I wanted to go to boarding school and have the midnight feasts and all of that, which we never really did. But I wanted to go to boarding school. And then I decided I was going to get a scholarship so that my fees would be paid in that boarding school. So I did an entrance exam with hundreds and hundreds of other girls. The subjects were Irish, English, and maths. I obviously had to come in the top three to get the place, which I did. I did honours maths for my leaving cert, right up the mocks, and then I think I changed to pass. So I wasn't rubbish at maths. I was good at maths, obviously, but I believed for all of my life that I'm crap at maths. And even to this day, it's a little bit of a thing with me. Another thing that I had was I honestly believed that I could never be successful in my own right. I honestly believed that if we were going to be successful, it would be my husband who would be successful and that I would enjoy the trappings of his success. It took me to get to my late 50s, 60 even, to realize that was nonsense. And I do know where that stemmed from as well. So it's a case of going back, and sometimes it's painful to go back. And you might be reliving memories of school or college or a workplace where you weren't particularly happy, maybe a relationship where things were said to you that you believed so that you felt unworthy, you felt not confident, you maybe were told to stop drawing attention to yourself, and that's bad. We're taught that it's wrong to talk about money, and it is not wrong to talk about money because we can do so much good with money. And I don't mean that we have to be materialistic and we have to have the latest labels and the fanciest cars and all of that, but it's something, you're told money is dirty. Don't put money in your mouth as a child. Money's not dirty because the good that you can do with your money is actually a very positive thing. And that's why I encourage you to do the abundance meditation and the financial abundance meditations that I do, and the health meditations and the confidence meditations and all these things that fire you up. And doing all these things will actually obliterate the self-limiting beliefs that you have. So I would ask you to try and just recognize one or two that are holding you back. Think about maybe the time you thought about a job promotion, and then you thought, oh, I wouldn't be any good at that. So-and-so will be far better than me. I think men don't think like this at all. They apply for the job anyway, thinking that they're the best in the room. Whereas I think we analyze everything, we overthink everything, and I'm making a generalization, which is not a right thing to do. But you know what I'm saying? There have been times, and listen, imposter syndrome, there isn't anybody in the world. I actually read an interview with Meryl Streep recently where she said every single time she is asked to do a movie, she thinks they're going to find out that I can't act. And we've all done that. All through my life, I would suffer from imposter syndrome. But I've learned how to knock it on the head. Even this week, I'm thinking, gosh, Anne, are you crazy to be organising this big day in Harvey's Point? And there's so much to organise. And you're going to have to get people to come. And you're going to have to make an amazing day for everybody, an amazing experience. And then I say, you know what, of course I can do this. And that's probably when I would go back to my journaling and go back to my I am affirmations that I do every single day. Even before I came on here, I did a powerful affirmation as I was fixing my hair, because the more you do it, the more it seeps into your psyche and the more it dilutes the impact of these horrible lies that we've been fed from when we were children that have stayed with us forever and ever. Rosari said those nuns could be brutal. It's funny, the nuns bit is coming out. Now, teachers are coming out to aunts, family members, bosses at work. But yeah, the nuns are definitely, now I had some great nuns in school and some I had no time for at all. those nuns could be brutal, a border too tough going, especially when you had a brainy sister. Well, I don't have a sister, so maybe I was very, very lucky in that regard. Margaret says, Anne, you were always a clever girl. I know, Margaret, but why do I have this notion that I'm crap at maths? Yeah, and I have to work so hard on that. Now I've kind of got over it. I carry a calculator everywhere I go. But, there's sometimes where I think I'd like to do study a module in maths just to see how I get on. And you know what? I'd probably surprise myself. But all I'm saying is that there's so many things that you can do to, knock these self-limiting beliefs on the head. And we all have different ones because we're all different. But I'm going to show you one thing that I did that was so, so powerful. This is my old journal. This was last year's journal. And again, it's the same. It's a sister of the one that I use all the time. It's open up here on a page. It's the 26th of June 2022. That is the day after my birthday. And Kavina McCauley, if you are watching, you arrived to my house with the most gorgeous gift. She got that double Clarence serum that I use, that I've only just finished in the last 6 months, and this gorgeous pink pen. And look at what I wrote. I wrote about the pink pen. My pink pen will chart the story of my new amazing adventure. At that point, I think we had signed contracts for here. We knew we were on the move. We knew there was a lot of upheaval and moving and putting stuff into storage and emptying houses and all that stuff to be done. But my pink pen will chart the story of my new amazing adventure, and I still use that pink pen. Your self-worth is not earned, it's owned. Okay, remember that. You don't have to earn your self-worth. You don't have somebody to say, you know what, you're fantastic, or you know what, you're brilliant at this. You own it. You know yourself like nobody else knows yourself. So what I want you to do is to find that vibration inside you. And it's actually, was it Breach? Somebody said to me that after watching yesterday's video and doing what we talked about yesterday, she could actually feel her vibration rising. And I know that my vibration is powerful at the moment, probably because I'm doing so much inner work to support me, because I have a big event to organize and so much to do. And I've never really done anything like this before. I've done smaller events, but never anything quite so ambitious and so big. Never with speakers like I've got, never in a venue like I've got. But I'll take it in my stride. I know I will, and you'll support me all the way. So remember that your self-worth is not earned, it's owned. You own it, nobody else. I have limitless potential. We all have limitless potential. Sometimes we don't know the half of what we're capable of. And remember one thing, you're always stronger than you think you are. The day that was hammered home to me was the day that Neil Tui had a massive abdominal aortic aneurysm and was dying in my arms in front of me, keeping him alive and awake until an ambulance came, bringing him to Galway with a 2% chance of survival. He went by air and surviving. But that day in that A&E, I discovered a backbone and a strength and a resilience that I had no idea I had. So I don't want I think there's a paradigm shift for everybody. There's a paradigm that happens that makes you into a different person. And thankfully, it's not always a bad thing that happens. I think for many of the women who are coming to the day in Harvey's Point, something is going to happen on that day, and that's going to be such a positive day. But I think they're going to find an awareness and a strength and a power and a determination in themselves that they never realized they had. That's my ambition for the day, because girls are coming with their mothers, and maybe these are of a generation, these ladies who have never been exposed to anything like this, who've never believed in the power of their own strength and resilience and potential. Oh my God, I'm so happy I listened to your live talk. I had an uncle that, listen, this makes me so angry, because so many of us have this story. Oh my God, I'm so happy I listened to your live talk. I had an uncle that said I would never amount to anything, and I believed him. Thanks for your candid talk. I will listen to you daily. I don't know who that is, but my goodness, it's these throwaway things. And the people who said them to you don't even remember that they said, but there's lasting. Well, now, from this day forward, what day is today? Today is the 19th of the 1st, 2023. I'm going to tell you, you are capable of anything. Absolutely anything that you set your mind to. I'm going to send you I'll find out who sent me that message, and I will send you send me a private message, because I will send you some affirmations that's going to knock that on the head. I'll go back to my list. God, I'll be here all day with this list. And this is pure random. But it's nice that it's a day after my birthday. I am worthy of receiving abundance. We are all worthy. And I think sometimes you think it's selfish to want things. It's not. It's not selfish to love yourself. Let me tell you that you can't love your family, your friends, your parents, your colleagues. You can't nurture them. You can't look after them if you don't put yourself first. I mean that. Self love is the most selfless thing that you can do. If you fill yourself up and your spirit is high, and it won't be high all the time, it will go up and go down. But the beauty is that when it goes down, you will have the tools to pull yourself up again, so that it is absolutely so a happy birthday. That was 6 months ago. I'm 6 months older now, Margaret. But thank you. But you are so worthy of receiving all the abundance in the world. I'm so grateful for what I already have. Now, I genuinely believe, and I only wished I discovered the power of gratitude 20, 30, 40 years ago. I didn't. But you know what? It's never too late. I'm 62 now, and most of you are so much younger than me. But you know what? I feel like I have the best adventures ahead of me. We had a crazy adventure last year coming here. It's worked out brilliantly. We took a massive risk on many levels. You know, we could have been going home with a suntan and a liability in Spain, but it's all worked out. And I think sometimes, you know, try and trust your gut in everything, with people, with circumstances, in everything that you do, because when you trust your gut's always right. And sometimes your gut will tell you to do the hard thing. And I think the hard thing is often the right thing to do as well. So now in my life, I am completely gut led. Yesterday, I had a conversation with somebody who wanted to be a sponsor for my Finding Your Fabulous Day in Harvey's Point. In my heart, I knew it wasn't. They had a gut feeling that maybe the catchment area was wrong for them. And I felt absolutely, if that was their first initial reaction, they were absolutely right. So I said, you know what, this is not your time. You're not going to do this now because it's not your time. You know, could have taken the sponsorship, but no, it had to be right. But your gut feeling will always tell you the right thing to do. I am so excited for what is coming. I am vibrating at a high frequency. Well, I think I'm even vibrating at a higher frequency now, if that is possible. The limits of my mind are the limits of my reality. Listen to that. The limits of my mind are the limits of my reality. I said this to you yesterday. Thoughts become things. What you think about, you attract into your life. If you think about the good stuff, if you think about what you really want, if you think about what you want in the present tense, if you can somehow believe that you actually have it, that what you want, you actually have, it's a bit like deciding you wanted to buy a white Volkswagen Golf. Okay? What do you see on the road? You never saw white, or you saw very few white Volkswagen Golfs before, and now you see them everywhere you go because you're thinking about that, so you're calling it in. So start doing it with small things and then build up to the big things, because there's nothing that you can't. Honestly, if you can see it in your mind, you will have it. The limits of your mind are the limits of your. That's hard to say. The limits of your mind are the limits of your reality. But anyway, the reason I picked up this diary. And you know, I get stickers and I stick them on. I can do this. Time to be awesome, time to shine, time to shine. Don't hesitate. You can do this. Go for the big dreams. Well, here's a useful exercise. Oh no, I don't believe what I've done. This is time to take a breath, because if I destroy this photograph, I will cry. I actually had a little affirmation here and I had stuck on, and I want to change it. See this photograph here? This was me on my 7th birthday. I was full of the joys of life. I truly believed that I could do anything that I wanted to do and be at 7 years of age. I was a shy child, actually. I was quite shy, but I had an inner confidence. I absolutely had an inner confidence, and I had some self-belief. But did people knock me down along the way? Of course they did. But what I'm going to say to you is, find a photograph of yourself as a child, okay? And I want you to do a couple of things. I'm going to keep that open because I don't want the sticky tape to stick onto that precious photograph from 1967. But I want you to do a couple of things. Find a photograph, and I want you to stick it in your journal. Why? Because I want you to start talking to yourself as a 7-year-old child. When I was 7 years old, I was very good at maths in school. I actually loved school, and I was a bit of a teacher's pet. I was that horrible child that used to do the extra homework, so the teachers would like me. And I think that's something that I have all my life that I'm trying hard to change. I've been a people pleaser all my life. I wanted people to like me. Same in boarding school, Margaret. I was certainly not the most popular girl. There was always a gang of girls who were super popular. I wasn't, but I would have loved to have been part of their gang. And that's why I would have said yes to lots of things in my life that shouldn't have, that just because I didn't know how to say no. And that's something I'm going to get into in the day in Harvey's point. Once you find out, and I have a way of teaching you how to say no in the most gracious, powerful, strongest way, your life changes. But that little girl was full of, she wanted to be, she could be whatever she wanted to be in her mind. So when you talk to yourself as a 7-year old, you'll talk to yourself in a kinder way than you would, because I think sometimes we're horrible to ourselves and we say things into ourselves that you'd never say to your husband or your child or your grandchild or your friend, but you'd say it to yourself. But you wouldn't say it to a 7-year-old child. So try and remember that little 7-year-old girl. And all the sweetness and loveliness and joy and devilment or whatever was in her, because it's still in you. That little girl is you. She's just grown up a little bit, and you can go back to that wholesome, lovely, ambitious, confident, world is your oyster child if you want to. Margaret saying, where attention goes, energy flows. Well, that is so true. I know that for a fact. She's Margaret's going to be my star pupil. She'll be given a course on mindset, but you're right. Where you put your attention. So give your attention to the good stuff. Don't give your attention to the negative stuff. Some people were asking for affirmations about how to remove toxic people from your life, how to remove negativity. That's something that I do in Finding Your Fabulous Bootcamp quite a lot. We do all of this in the bootcamp actually, and the bootcamp's starting again. The doors will open after we finish up on that day in Harvey's Point if anybody is interested in just taking this to a whole different level. But I want you to talk to that child, and I want you to do another thing. I did this once. I was leaving the house in Carrick, and which is still my happy place in the world, that house where I grew up. I love going over there. I sleep better there than I sleep anywhere else. There's just something about being there, being home. Carrick and Teelan is my happy place. But I remember I was leaving, and I think it was after Mum had died, and I was over, and I was leaving to come back home to Letterkenny, and I was driving a little red Mercedes convertible at the time, which my mother loved, which I loved. It was a real fun car, lipstick, a real girl's car, cream leather, white cream leather, destroyed with Anne's fake tan, but it was a fun car. But I remember getting into the car, and I imagined that I was strapping. I could get emotional doing this because I got emotional when I did it in reality. I can imagine strapping Anne into the seat at the back, age 7. And I talked to her the entire way through Killybegs, Donegal Town, through the Gap and into Letterkenny. And I told her all about my life. And I told her all about Neil, and I told her all about the boys. And I told her about being a nurse and being a theatre nurse and living in Bermuda and coming back and building our dream home and studying interior design, and then crazily becoming an interior designer because I did a TV show where Shane Filan was my client, and things went a bit crazy after that. But I talked her through all of this, and I remember pulling into the driveway, opening the door and taking her by the hand. I could even see what she was wearing, and her little fringe was short. My hair was much darker then. I went grey, that's why I went blonde. But yeah, a little short fringe and the little round face, and her eyes full of wonder, and walking in and seeing this big hall, this big, massive, crazy high ceilings. And I brought her through the house, and I remember bringing her up the stairs, up to my bedroom, showing her my dressing room, and all the clothes and the dresses and the makeup and everything, and the eyes getting wider and wider and wider. And I loved that experience, because that could have been a time when I was actually not feeling the best about myself. In fact, it probably was, where confidence wasn't where it was at, but it was one of the most powerful things I ever did, was take me at 7 years old by the hand through my home, showing her, how life worked out. Because even though you think life is not great at the moment, there's so much about your life that there is. And when you start doing your gratitude work, you'll focus on that, and you won't think so much about the things that are not working out. And then because you're doing your gratitude work, it's given you the tools to be stronger about the things that are not serving you. And you'll find ways and solutions, and you'll journal. If you have a problem, if whatever, whether your problem is a health one, whether it's relationships, whether it's financial, you'll journal through it and you'll find this strength and this inner guidance that will help you to make an informed decision and make the right one. So, lesson for today: start loving yourself the way you loved that little 7-year-old girl. And if you get emotional, and I do, because there's lots of emotion. That was a sitting room at home that we never really used, and that our boys, it became their playroom then when they used to visit Granny. But I remember that day vividly. I remember getting my hair put into ringlety rollery things. But there was nothing that I didn't believe I was capable of then. Nobody had knocked anything out of me at that point that I can remember, that self-limiting beliefs hadn't started. So identify them, and then identify them for the absolute mistruth and lie that it is that somebody said to you that has become ingrained in your psyche, and then it becomes powerful because you're not aware of it, and your subconscious mind is so strong. But let me tell you something, I told you this yesterday as well. If you tell your subconscious a lie or tell the truth, it will believe you. It doesn't know the difference between a lie or truth. So if you say to yourself, I am so confident, I am so capable, I am well able to go for that promotion at work, I am well deserving of getting a rise, I am deserving to have the most loving, happy relationship. Keep saying this to yourself over and over. What you will do is get rid of, and it won't happen in a day, you're going to have to do this over and over, but you will build up this muscle that will make you strong and will give you resilience. And that's what I want. So yeah, so a few of you have been asking me again about the Dane Harvey's point, and I thought, right, here we go. I'm going to give you the details here. It's on Saturday, the 25th of February, 2023, and it's a full day event. We'll be starting probably registration at 10. It'll go on to 4:30. We're going to have a gorgeous, proper sit-down, lovely lunch in the middle. There'll be refreshments in between. It will be a day of learning. I will be guiding you. It'll be like a version of this, or maybe more like my boot camp. There's going to be a bit more into it, but it's easy to take in, and it'll get your energy up. So that will be my bit. I will lead you through the day, and there's lots of topics that I'll be discussing that I'll tell you about between now and then, all relevant. I want everybody who walks in to that room to walk out a different person. I want you to have a different attitude. I want you to have this different belief about yourself. I've handpicked my guests, and they're going to help me do that as well. So Anna Daly, the TV presenter, is going to be on in the morning. She'll be a morning guest. And also in the morning session, I'm going to have Dr. Roisin Fitzgerald, who's a medical doctor. She is trained in skin aesthetics. She's an expert on skin, and she is going to show us how to make the very best of ourselves and the best of our skin. And she's an amazing woman. I have huge time for her. So I'm really looking forward to that. I know I'll learn lots from that as well. Then in the afternoon, I'll have Una Hagen beaming in on the big screen, because Una will be out of the country, but we're going to be there, and we're going to have, she is the most inspirational woman I know. So we're going to talk about beauty from within, energy, confidence, the importance of surrounding yourself with women who get you and support you, because she certainly does that. And then Sandra Devaney, the general manager of Michael Henny's, is going to be on with me, and she's exactly the same as Una in that mindset, that frame of mind, and she's massively into her mindset and confidence. So that's going to be, and she's got that 5 at 5 group that many of you are in, which is very, very powerful group. And we're going to end the day on a high. Jeanette and Deirdre, the sister duo between Case Paris. I said that before, Freudian slip, because it is a power. They've created a power company. It's a flower school, an online flower school, but they've created a global, phenomenally successfully company, and they've reinvented themselves as well. So reinvention will be a theme. Anna Daly reinvented herself a couple of times too. That's why I want to start again with the end in sight. Yesterday I said, when you're goal setting, have your objective first, start from the end, start from the objective, and then work towards it. And that's this method of my madness. That's why I'm starting with the reinvention, because I want you to have this image of where you want to be and how you want your life to look, and then we'll work through it on the day as well. So it is going to be phenomenal. I can send you a link. There's early bird tickets, there's a payment plan, and there's also a list, because some people have said to me, because it's January, I want to wait until I get my paycheck at the end of January, and then I'll book my tickets. So if that's you, let me know, and I'll put you on that special list as well. So a lot for you to take in today, but thank you so much for giving me your time and your attention, and I really appreciate the feedback that I'm getting back. Can't believe tomorrow is going to be our last day. So tomorrow I'm going to consolidate everything for you and give you a roadmap to find your fabulous. So until then, keep the messages coming. Could you share a link to the info, and especially for the payment link? Want to send some people looking forward to it? Of course I will, Rosario. I'll do that now, actually. I did that on Monday as well. I will put a link here. So if anybody wants to know, and the link actually gives you all the information about the day as well. And anyway, I'm very accessible. My DMs are open if anybody wants to send me a message, but I'll do that, Rosario. I'll do it as soon as I'm finished. So if you're waiting for your guided meditation, you'll get that today. I'm going to say if I have to stay up all night, I'll do that. Please send details on payment, like I most certainly will. I'll put it here, and then you'll be able to find, and if it doesn't make sense, you can ask me a question. But listen, I'm so thrilled and honoured and privileged and delighted that you joined me. And for everybody coming in on the replay, I'm just as thrilled and honoured and delighted that you're catching this later on. We'll have a really fun day tomorrow, a consolidation of everything that we've done this week, because I don't want you to stop after tomorrow. I want this to be something that you continue for the rest of your days, because I want you to transform your life. And maybe your life doesn't need to be transformed, but it'll still put you in a happier place. But I know that I transformed mine, and that's what I want for you as well. So, oh, I missed that Monday. Thanks, Anne. No, it's okay. I'll put it here, because when there's lots of comments coming in, the thread will get lost anyway. So I will put it here. Yeah. So listen, have a lovely, lovely rest of the day, and I'll be back tomorrow at 1 o'clock. Stay safe, stay fabulous, and I'll see you all then.